Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Maria, and today I'm going to be trying on quite a bit of newly released Hermes. 3 of the products are very newly released, and the lipsticks, which I haven't even opened yet, they were released probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I picked up the Hermes, it's the Plein. It is the Natural Enhancing Complexion Balm, but this is also described as a foundation. Now, I know that this won't give a lot of coverage. It'll probably be fairly sheer coverage. It is an SPF 30 and has a PA++. This is the outside packaging that it comes in. This is made in Japan, and it has 40 mils of product. So let's open this up and take a look. So once you open it up, it's inside this orange cardboard, and then it says that the instructions are on the inside of the box. So I've had to open the inside of the box up, and what it says is that this is a natural perfector both for your complexion and for your skincare. The Hermes Plein Complexion Balm evens out, enhances, moisturizes, and protects your skin. It also says that the addition of a complex based on hyaluronic acid gives the skin instant and long-lasting moisture. The pair of active ingredients based on primrose extract and Chinese skullcap, which is a plant from traditional Chinese medicine, protects your skin from the harsh effects of the environment and works as an antioxidant. The formula is made up of white mulberry extract, known for its antioxidizing properties. This is a mineral-based sunscreen, and it says it effectively blocks out UVA and UVB rays. So here is the tube that it comes in. I picked this up in shade 30, which is Facile, spelled F-I-C-E-L-L-E, so I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. And it hasn't got a flip-up lid. I think you would need to just screw it off, and you do. And there is a protective seal on top. So I'm just going to take that off. So I have done all my skincare for the day, and the last step in my skincare routine is always putting on SPF, which I have done. Mine is an SPF 50. It's a Japanese one. And I know that this has an SPF in it. But when a foundation or a balm or anything like that has an SPF in it, to me that's a bonus, and I don't rely on that for protection because you don't use nearly enough to get the protection that you need. Because with SPF I use 1/4 teaspoon just on my face alone, and then another 1/4 teaspoon on my neck and chest, hands, etc. So I'll take some out of the tube, put it on the back of my hand. It looks quite light. It was quite hard to decide which shade to get. I picked up the 2 powders and this foundation from Selfridges. So here is the balm. It is quite thick. There is no way that that's going to run down my hand at all. And it does look very light. Now to put this on, I am going to use a brush. I haven't really got any other balms or tints. I usually have a foundation that's either described as light, or it's medium, or medium to full. I don't really have, like I said, many tints. The only one that I have is the Chanel. That's the water-based one, which I absolutely love, and I put that on with a brush. So I'm going to do that today. So I think I'll reach for my BK Beauty foundation brush, and this is the BK Beauty 101. And what I'm going to do is just get some product on my fingertip. It looks really, really light. You see, I'm looking in the monitor to the right of me, and it does look quite light and maybe a little bit yellow. I've also put some primer on as well. I'm using the Hourglass one, their latest release one, which I absolutely love, and that has been going really well with all my foundations. This has a really strong scent. It smells like their other products, and it is quite strong. This is not good. I'm going to let it sit as well, and I will do the other side of my face. But if it stays looking like this, then I will end up washing it off before I try the other products, because what it's doing, it's sitting in all my pores on my face. So it's got that polka dot effect. But we'll just keep going and see what it's like. I'm just going to put a little bit more on the back of my hand. And I'm going to do the other side. And being a balm, it doesn't give much coverage, but that's fine. I never expected that it would give much coverage at all. But I was hoping that it would be sort of a very light look and even out my complexion, like that Chanel, I think it's called, is it the Water Fresh tint, that one. I was hoping it would sort of have that type of effect. I'm going to put this over on my eyelids as well and underneath my eyes, so I can still smell the fragrance, and that's fine. It's actually quite a pleasant fragrance. It's like it doesn't want to sort of melt into your skin or blend with your skin very much. It's like it's just sitting on top, I think, and it's not getting any better. I thought it might get better if I let it sit for a minute or two. I'll sort of finish stippling it in as much as I can, and what I will do is I'll let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and sort of give you my thoughts on it. This reminds me of a foundation that I didn't review on YouTube, and I picked, it was a much heavier coverage than this, but it had that polka dot effect, and it was the NARS Soft Matte, and it did this, and I knew straight away that that just wasn't a good look. So yeah, if it stays like this, this is super unflattering for mature skin, and there's no way I would keep wearing it. And it's also quite patchy. It's like it's moving around. So like I was saying, it's not blending with my skin or melding in any way. It's just sitting on top, and it really, really, really looks awful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let it sit for 5 minutes. So I'll do that, and then I'll be back. So I have let it sit for a good 5 minutes, and it really isn't any better. I don't think I mentioned, but those of you that haven't seen my videos before, I have fairly oily skin. I wouldn't say it's excessively oily, but it is quite oily. And the main issue, well, there's a few issues with it really, but the main issue is that it has all these hideous polka dots where my pores are. It's just emphasizing my pores, and I just don't want any tint or balm or foundation to ever do that. Also here, it's moving around my face a bit. Aside from all that, if this was a balm that you liked and you had oily skin, it feels like it does need to be set down with powder. So if I was going to keep wearing this throughout the video, I would try one of the powders to set it down that I'm going to do in this video. But the way that it looks now, and I'm going to actually do another video after this, so I don't want my foundation to look like this. So I'm actually going to wash this off and then just reapply my usual sunscreen and put on a different foundation, and I'll have eyeshadow on, my eyebrows done and all that as well. So then we can take a look at the powder. and also the Radiant Powder and also the lipsticks. But I'm not quite sure what else to say apart from I think it emphasizes my wrinkles. I didn't put a lot under my eyes. It's all settled into the wrinkles under my eyes as well. I think it looks patchy. This is really, really bad. And, you know, for Hermes, a company like that, they charge a lot for their products. These are fairly pricey. I can't quite remember how much it was without sort of having a look on the internet again, but it was quite an expensive balm. But it just doesn't look good at all. It's not flattering. I probably will use it somehow. I don't know whether I can pass it on to someone, or I might just use it as an SPF maybe on my hands and arms, or use it that way. But I won't be putting it on my face again. So really, really disappointed with it. And it's not one that I'm going to play around with either. I'm not going to mix it with other foundations and see if it works or anything like that. Because with a brand like Hermes and those luxury brands, I just don't think you should have to do that. You shouldn't have to play around with any product, a luxury product, and make it work, because they shouldn't be hard work. So really disappointed that it looks like this, and as time's going on, it's just not looking any better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wash all this off. Then I'll have to do a little bit of skincare. Put on an essence again, and then over the top I'll put on my usual SPF. Put on a different foundation, and then I'll be back and we'll take a look at the powders and the lipsticks. So that's much better with the balm washed off my face. So I put on a little bit of skincare, and then I also still put on my usual SPF. I use the Hourglass Primer again, the newer one. And for the foundation, I use the new NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, which I did a video on, and love this foundation. It is so beautiful. I have been reaching for it nearly every single day since I purchased it. It is really, really lovely. And the difference between a good foundation and that Hermes balm is really like night and day. So I've also put on some eyeshadow and done my mascara as well. I've also done my eyebrows, and I put a little bit of powder under my eyes as well, and I used the by Tirau pressed powder for that. So for the Hermes, the Radiant Glow Powder, I'm not just going to solely use it on my cheekbones. I also want to try it as a little bit over the eyeshadow as well. So I decided just to use, this is all matte eye quad. It is the Tom Ford, the Mink Mirage one, that is really, really beautiful. But first of all, I'm going to try one of the powders. This is the Hermes, this is the Radiant Matte Powder. This is the outside packaging. And it says that it is a translucent powder, and it is a luminous matte. So I assume from that wording that it's not going to have a very sort of flat matte look, although it may have a more of a matte feeling, but won't look like it on the face. Well, that's what I'm assuming at this stage. So here is the beautiful Hermes packaging inside, another cardboard box. And the packaging is the same as what the blush came in. This has 6.5 grams of product. It has a shelf life from 12 months of date of opening. And I think these are made in Italy. Yes, they are made in Italy. So inside is a mirror. And here is the translucent powder. So I'm going to take the Synergy. This is the Face 1 brush, and just swirl it in the powder, and I'm going to buff this into the foundation. This powder has the usual Hermes scent, that comes with the blushes and the lipsticks as well. It is really, really lovely. It doesn't seem to smell as strong as that balm that I was trying earlier. You can smell it, but it's nowhere near as strong, and I like the scent. I think it is really, really lovely. So that is with all the powder on, and it does feel really beautiful on the skin. It doesn't feel like it's really dried it down at all, but it does leave a really beautiful finish. It just feels just silky and quite light. It doesn't feel heavy at all. So I'm really pleased about this, because the balm was just so terrible that I was hoping that at least the powders were going to be better. So far so good. So now what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to put on a little bit of bronzer, and I'm going to put on an Hermes blush as well, and then we'll try out the Radiant powder. So this is the Hermes blush that I put on. This is really, really pretty. I love this shade. It is very soft and it just blends like a dream. This is blush number 37. So now let's take a look at the Radiant Glow Powder. It's in the same packaging as the other one. And just like the other one, has the same shelf life of 12 months from date of opening. And this is made in Italy. And then inside it has the really lovely, the same Hermes packaging. So this is number 2, Mirage, and I do think that this looks really beautiful. So I'm going to put some, first of all, just on my cheekbones, and then I'm going to try a bit over the top of where my lighter eyeshadow is as well. So I'm going to use a Chikuhodo brush to put the highlighter on and just see how that applies first. So that is really, really pretty. It looks just stunning over the blush. So the powders are really lovely, this one and that mattifying powder that I just used. It was just the balm that was a fail. I'll actually do a swatch of this on the back of my hand so you can take a look. So that is what the powder looks like swatched. It's really, really pretty. It feels beautiful swatched on my hand, and it blended really easily on the cheekbones as well. It's really, really beautiful. So now I'm just going to try some over the top of my eyeshadow and see how that looks. So I'm going to take the Chikuhodo, this is the F06 brush, and we'll try that and see how that looks over the top. Really, really beautiful. It looks really, really nice. It goes on easily. So this has a dual use. You can definitely use it over the top of eyeshadow as well. It's just really, really pretty. So I am loving that Radiant Glow Powder as well. I think it looks really pretty and really flattering on the cheeks, and it looks beautiful over that eyeshadow as well. So now we'll take a look at the lipsticks. These were released, like I said, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. These are called the Shiny Lipstick. I got 2 colours. One is 05 in Beige Lipstick, and the other one is 35, and that is an Orange Cappuccin. So what I'm going to do is swatch both of these shades on the back of my hand, and then I'll decide which one to put on. And these lipsticks have a shelf life of 18 months from date of opening. They are made in Italy, and there is 2.8 grams of product. And as like the powders, is the beautiful Hermes box inside. I think that they are really, really gorgeous. And then also is like a canvas type pouch that holds the lipstick as well. Now I have purchased a couple of other Hermes lipsticks, and I have to say that the packaging is stunning. They feel very, very weighty. They're just beautiful to look at. So here is the packaging of 05. It is lovely and it just feels really weighty. They have, it's just a magnetic closure. And here is the shade. And that is number 05 Beige Dual. And then I'll just take out shade number 35. This is Orange Cappuccin. So you can take a look at that as well. And here is the packaging of the other one. They're just beautiful packaging. That block colours, they're just stunning. And here is Orange Cappuccin. And just like the other lipsticks, these do have a scent as well. So now I'm going to swatch these on the back of my hand. So the beige lipstick is actually more beautiful swatch than it is in the bullet. I don't know whether you can see it, but it has these really tiny like shimmer particles in it. It would be like sort of like a pale lip with a bit of warmth, and it just feels like a smooth balm. Now to get these swatches I went over them at least twice, about 3 times. So I would say when I go to put it on it would be fairly sheer, but I'm pretty sure they will be able to be built up. And the Orange Cappuccin is sort of more like a rosy orange. It's quite luminous and sparkling, and they just feel really lovely on my hand. So I think I will try both today. I was just going to try one, but I'll show you what they both look like, because it also depends on what the pigment is in people's lips to how a lipstick looks as well. So I'm going to try on the beige lipstick first. So I think that this colour looks better than I thought it was going to look. I like a nude type of lipstick, but some beiges just don't look that great on me. But this has that sort of luminous quality to it, and there is a slight bit of warmth. So I think it makes them look just very natural, and I think it is really beautiful. I'm just going to go over one more time and just see if I can get a little bit more coverage. So I think there was a tiny bit more coverage, not very much, but I think just by itself, I think this is really lovely. Because it is luminous and there is a little bit sort of like a gloss to it, it doesn't look flat. And I think that sometimes why beige shades don't look that great on me is when they have that flat look as well. It just, I don't know, it's just something about it. I don't quite like it on my lips. Okay, so I've just removed that one, and now I'm going to try the Orange Cappuccin. So that is with a couple of layers on, and I think that looks really lovely too. And again, more coverage than I expected there would be. But I think if you even wanted more coverage, then you could put a lip liner underneath, and then you would definitely get more coverage. But by itself and with an orange lipstick, this is definitely enough for me. And I do like it with the Tom Ford quad that I've got on, and also with that Radiant powder that I mixed in with the eyeshadow too. I think altogether it looks really, really lovely. And these balms feel really lovely. They do just glide on, and they also feel really moisturizing as well. So my thoughts on everything that I picked up. Well, I've had a really good run for quite a long time now with foundations, so it's probably about time that I'd had a fail. And this Hermes, this Complexion Balm is an absolute fail. I will not be putting that on my face again. I could use it on my neck, chest, or even on my hands and arms. I will use it up because it is an expensive product and it does have that SPF in it. But for some reason, it just does not sit well on my face. To me, it emphasized my texture. It showed every single pore that I have on my face and the other things that you just don't want out of a foundation. The two powders are really lovely, and I will keep playing with that mattifying powder. It still feels really, really beautiful on the skin, and it went on really well too. And when I put the blush over top of the powder, there were no issues. They both worked really well together. The Radiant Glow Powder is really beautiful. I think it looks beautiful as a highlight on the cheekbones, and as I was saying before, I think it works really, really well over the top of the eyeshadow as well. And both of the lipsticks, I like both. I'm surprised with the beige. Once I had bought it and before it arrived, I sort of wished maybe that I hadn't picked the beige, because as I said, they can look a bit flat on me and not quite right. But surprisingly, I think that this looks really, really beautiful. And this orange Cappuccin is a gorgeous shade. And even though it's orange, it's not really bright and powerful. So maybe if you do like that color orange, but you don't want to go for that really bright, bold look, then this is the sort of lipstick and the shade that you'd probably be looking at. So apart from that one fail, everything else is really, really lovely. And I'm very pleased with the two powders and the two lipsticks. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.